Good morning, boys and girls. My name is Miss Chelsea, and I'm your host. This is your teacher, Miss Anne Marie. Today, we're going to continue our learning about hummingbirds.
Thank you, Miss Chelsea. I am so excited to continue our learning about hummingbirds. But before we start to work through our comprehension questions, let's reread our text and review the vocabulary to improve our understanding. So you're going to need a piece of paper and a pencil to record your answers when we get to our comprehension questions. All right, are you ready with your paper and pencil? Good. So Miss Chelsea, can you read the first word from our chart?
Sure. Our first word was hover. This means to float in the air close to something. Our picture is a helicopter hovering over the ground. Boys and girls, do you remember our hand gesture?
That's right. Let's do it together while we say the word aloud. Hover.
Hover.
Very good.
The next word is moss.
It is. Moss is a very small green or yellow plant that grows on moist rocks, tree bark, or wet ground. We can see the moss in this picture. It's on the big rocks. Let's pretend that our fist is a rock and let's point to the moss.
I remember that one. I saw moss when I was hiking, like in our picture.
Very good. Our next word, Miss Chelsea, is flexible. This means bendable. Do you remember the example with the folder, Miss Chelsea?
Yes. It can bend back and forth to demonstrate how flexible the material is, just like the folder in this picture.
So let's practice the hand gesture for flexible again. Remember, we bent our elbows to show how our joints are flexible. Let's say the word flexible as we bend our elbow. Flexible. Very good job.
Now I see nectar. This is a sugary fluid secreted by plants. Can you see the nectar dripping from this flower in our picture? Me too. We use this hand gesture to help anchor the meaning in our memory.
That's right. Let's do it together while we say the word nectar aloud. Nectar.
Nectar.
Very good job squeezing the nectar out of the flower.
I love seeing you guys do that. Our next word is habitat.
It is, and habitat is a place where plants or animals live and grow. Our picture shows different habitats in which animals live. Let's use our hands to create a home over our heads to represent the word habitats. Very good. If we look in our picture, we can see that there are many different types of habitats. Which one do you see that might be your favorite, you think, Miss Chelsea?
I think I like the desert best.
The desert.
Nice and hot.
It does look hot. And then we have the opposite, which is the ocean.
Oh, very cool.
Yes.
Our next word, boys and girls, is beak. This is a bird's horn-like projecting jaw. We used this hand gesture to help us remember. Can you do that? Good. In our picture, the bird has its beak open.
Beak. That reminds me of a puppet, Miss Chelsea.
It does kind of look like that. Can y'all say beak one more time?
Beak.
Awesome.
Very good. So our last word is migrate. Migrate means to spend part of the year in one place and part of the year in another place. In the picture, the geese are migrating to their next home. And these are Canadian geese, so maybe they're flying south for the winter.
Yeah, looking for somewhere warm.
So let's use our hand motions to show migrating from one place to another. We're going to chop, migrating from one place to another. Okay, boys and girls, let's revisit our informational title, Hummingbirds.
Oh, I really enjoyed learning about those small tropical birds.
I did too, and I'm so excited to read and learn more today. So let's get started. Follow along with me as we read. Birds can be found nearly everywhere on Earth, and they come in many different sizes and colors. They also live in many different types of habitats. This affects how they eat, nest, and sing songs. Hummingbirds are among the smallest birds. The bee hummingbird is the smallest bird on Earth, just 2 inches long, and it weighs less than a penny. A hummingbird is an amazing little animal. It can flap its wings up to 90 times in 1 second. That's so fast. It looks like its wings are a blur. It's hard to see its wings because they are constantly flapping. Boys and girls, can you recall how fast hummingbirds' wings flap?
Y'all help me think.
Miss Chelsea, do you remember?
I think so. I heard some of you guys say that hummingbirds flap their wings up to 90 times in just 1 second.
That is right, Miss Chelsea. So let's take that information and formulate a complete sentence together.
Okay, writing can be tough, but it helps me express my thoughts to others.
So, boys and girls, get your paper and pencil ready because we want you to write with us. First, we will need to ensure that we begin with a capital letter and that we end with the proper punctuation.
Okay.
If we restate the question in order to respond, how will we need to begin?
So if this is our question, how fast can hummingbirds flap their wings? To restate this, I think I would say hummingbirds can flap their wings and then answer?
That's right, Miss Chelsea. That's a great way to start. So let's begin by writing A, and remember our capital letter.
Got it.
Hummingbird can flap its wings So, Miss Chelsea, what did we say the text said about this? Boys and girls, do you know the answer?
That's right. You guys helped me earlier. They can flap 90 times in just 1 second.
Very good. So let's add that to the end of our response. 90 times in 1 second. And what do we need to put at the end?
My punctuation.
Very good. And we put a period because this is a statement. So let's read our answer together. A hummingbird can flap its wings 90 times in 1 second. We're going to give you just a second to finish writing the answer on your paper, and then we're going to keep reading. Okay, is everybody ready to keep reading? Hummingbirds dart around from flower to flower like bees. They use their long, pointy beaks to drink sweet nectar from flowers. Since they are so busy flapping their wings, they need to eat a lot to replace all of their energy. A typical hummingbird will visit hundreds of flowers every day, drinking more than its own weight in nectar. Nectar has sugar. Sugar gives hummingbirds plenty of energy. As they find insects on flowers, hummingbirds eat them up. Hummingbirds are attracted to red flowers. They are also drawn to red feeders, which people hang on porches and trees. The feeders are filled with sugary water, which is then dyed red to attract the birds. People hang feeders for them because these birds are a lot of fun to watch. Okay, so let's talk about how a hummingbird gets its nutrients. Boys and girls, can you name 2 things that hummingbirds eat? Yes. Miss Chelsea, can you share 2 things that you think hummingbirds eat?
I think I can. Let's think back to our text, and it said they drink nectar from plants and eat small insects.
Very good. So let's add this response to our chart. What do we need to be sure to include in our response? Do y'all know?
That's right. We need to include text evidence. My response would be, hummingbirds drink nectar from plants and eat small insects.
I love that response, Miss Chelsea. Let's write that on our paper.
Okay.
Boys and girls, you can write too.
Hummingbirds, I'm going to start with a capital H.
Drink nectar
And they eat
small
insects. Oh, I can't forget to add my punctuation.
Very good. I love that response, and it came straight from the text, Miss Chelsea. Good job. Like many birds, the ruby-throated hummingbird migrates. This means it spends part of the year in one place and part of the year in another place. It can be found in parts of eastern United States during the late spring and early summer. When autumn rolls around, it heads south for warmer weather. Here is an amazing fact. This tiny bird, which is shorter than your finger, doesn't migrate just a few miles. It migrates all the way across the Gulf of Mexico. 500 miles without stopping. From there, it may continue south through Mexico to Costa Rica and beyond. Here's another interesting fact. They are the only birds that can fly backwards. They can also hover and fly upside down. Miss Chelsea, we just learned about how hummingbirds migrate. What does it mean to say that hummingbirds migrate?
Well, I remember learning that vocabulary word, and it means that they travel from one region to another.
That's right. So, to restate our question, let's respond with, they migrate means to travel from one region to another. Boys and girls, do you like that response? Very good. So let's write that response on our paper.
To make sure I have enough room, I'm going to write our response up here, but my question is down here if I need to revisit it.
So migrate means
making sure I have my capital M. Migrate means to travel?
That's right. From one region to another.
I think I got it. Boys and girls, does this look good? Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot my punctuation, Miss Anne Marie.
I know, but I'm so glad that they reminded you. Okay, boys and girls, take just a second and finish copying the answer. Okay, everybody ready to keep reading? Great. Their nests are very small, about half as big as a walnut shell. They make their nest using little bits of moss and leaves. They use spider webs to hold these little bits of nature together. They sometimes eat the spider before using its web as glue. The spider's web is nice and sticky. It is also flexible. A hummingbird will lay 2 tiny eggs. When its tiny eggs hatch and the babies begin to grow, the spider web will allow the nest to expand. This helps the baby stay warm and safe. In the image, a hummingbird is feeding its babies. Maybe it is giving them a nice, juicy bug to eat. Maybe it is sharing a taste of a sweet flower nectar with the babies. See if you can find some more interesting little birds than that. So, Miss Chelsea and boys and girls, can you name 3 things that hummingbirds use in their nest?
3 things. That's a lot to remember. Boys and girls, can you help me remember 3 things hummingbirds use to make their nests? That's right. Well, our text said they use moss, leaves, and spider webs.
Ew.
Ugh, gross.
I know, that is disgusting, but that is exactly right. They even eat the spiders, Miss Chelsea.
No.
Yes, they eat the spiders before using their web as glue for the nest. Ugh.
Gross. But thank you guys for helping me remember that. So to answer my question in a formal response, I would need to say, let's see, I have to restate my question and then add the stuff we got from the text.
Right.
So hummingbirds use moss, leaves, and spider webs to make their nests. Is that good?
They said it was good, Miss Chelsea.
Well, let's write it together.
Okay, so we start with a capital letter. Very good. Hummingbirds. Use moss, leaves, and spider webs to make their nests.
To make their nests. And I won't forget my punctuation this time since you guys reminded me.
Very good. We're going to give you just a second to finish copying this answer because it is a little bit longer than the others. Don't forget to add your commas in your series of foods that the birds eat. Okay, very good. Boys and girls did a great job, Miss Chelsea, of helping us answer the questions. So let's review one more time some of the interesting facts that we learned about hummingbirds today.
Okay.
Boys and girls, you can use the answers that you copied on your paper as we look up here on the chart and help us remember our interesting facts. So Miss Chelsea, what's one of the interesting facts we learned?
Well, first, we responded to this question about how hummingbirds flap their wings, and they can flap their wings 90 times in 1 second. That's so fast.
That is super fast. I don't think I can move that fast.
I know I can't.
Okay, so another interesting fact is that hummingbirds drink nectar with those long beaks.
That's right.
And they eat small bugs like spiders.
Gross. But if it keeps them healthy, I'm all about it.
What about something else, Miss Chelsea? Do you remember something else we learned?
I do. Our response next, we learned that migration or migrate means to travel from one region to another.
Is that like when I go on vacation?
Well, not exactly, because you're not going to stay there for an extended period of time.
No. Okay. And then we also learned that hummingbirds use 3 different materials to build their nests.
They do.
Their flexible nests, Miss Chelsea.
Good use of our vocabulary word.
Yes. Miss Chelsea, what do they use to build their flexible nests?
Hummingbirds use moss, leaves, and spider webs to make their nests.
What part of those 3 items makes the nest flexible? Do you remember?
Boys and girls, can you help me? That's right. I remember now. The spider web helps make the nest expand when the babies hatch.
Very good. Miss Chelsea, we learned so many interesting facts about hummingbirds today.
We did.
I think I might like to continue studying hummingbirds. They seem very interesting.
Yeah.
Boys and girls, thank you so much for helping us answer these questions and for all of your hard work today. I loved our time together as we built our knowledge on hummingbirds.
All rights and credits for this lesson belong to Core Knowledge Language Arts. We would like to thank them publicly for sharing these materials. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.